Here in front of me are all the candle holders that I've made over the last few months. And the feedback from you, the audience, has been nothing short of incredible. With Thanksgiving and Christmas right around the corner, I've decided to give you, the audience, what you want. So in today's video, we're going to be building some holiday candle holders. You don't want to miss it. Today's video is sponsored by Woodworking. Now for the first candle holder, I've got a template that I'm going to cut out on my laser. However, they do sell stencils, and I'll leave links to where you can find them in the description for this project. Now before we begin, I want to talk to you about material. The stock that I'm going to be using is 1.5 inches in thickness, and I'll be using pine. Lowe's sells these pine boards that come 2 foot by 4 foot. Basically all it is a bunch of 2x laminated together, and they've already done all the milling for you, so they're nice, straight, and flat. These are part of a 2 foot by 6 foot cutoff I just finished up with a cabinet job, and these will work perfect for this project. So I reckon what I'm trying to say is Lowe's has some material that's already milled for you, so you don't have to do any of the milling, but it is a bit more pricey. Or you can just take some straight 2x4 or 2x6, making sure that it's the cleanest that they have. If you don't have a way to do all the milling yourself, this is the perfect option. So I'm going to take my bigger piece that I have here, and I'm going to rip one to 5.5 inches. Help this content reach more eyeballs by hitting that subscribe button. And don't forget to smack that like button. Now head to the miter box and get this piece cut to 9.5 inches. Next step, we're going to take and mark the center of our 5.5 and get this ripped at the table saw. Don't forget to slap on your PPE. I just couldn't resist. We're going to take the piece we just cut in half and place them together. And we're going to take our template that measures out to 5 inches. And we're going to pull up 2 inches from the bottom. And that's where the base of our template will sit. And you want to line up the center of your template at the bottom and the top of your tree with that cut that we just made, making sure that your pieces are nice and flush. Now hold that steady and scribe your template. So to get our pieces cut, I'm going to be using my bandsaw. But if you don't have a bandsaw, no worries. You can easily cut this out with a jigsaw. Before we do anything else, I'm going to go ahead and get the insides of my trees cleaned up at the vise. I'll be using my chisel, rasps, and a sanding block. Okay, so I've got these 1-inch little tea candles that are perfect for projects like this. You just want to make sure that you have a 1-inch Forster bit. It's the best bit to use for this type of project. I'll be sure to leave the links in the description for the tea light candles and that Forstner bit. Now take and mark center at the top of your 2x here. And here I go again, up in the air, on what I want to do with this design. All right, I've got it. So what I'm going to do is come up 1/4 inch right from my peak here, and I'm going to cut this right side right there. Hopefully I don't regret this. Gotta take chances, right? Wow, I actually really like that. All right, we'll get these center holes punched and get these drilled out. I've been thinking about how I'm going to finish this piece, and I think we're going to go with a sugar bun. Fire. Wish me luck. So what I'm thinking is just burning the inside of this piece and leaving the outside natural. But we'll just have to play that by ear and see how it turns out. All right, we're gonna let this cool down just a bit and I'll meet you back here to finish it up. Package. So I just received, I think, to be some more stickers from a member. 64 Woodworking, Mr. Sean Knight and Melissa Knight. Little Jesuses. Oh my God, that's awesome. They sent a handwritten letter. I'll have to read that later. While that's cooling down, we'll go ahead and add Sean's sticker to the bandsaw. If you want to have your stickers featured on my tools in one of my videos, consider becoming a member today of any level of the YouTube memberships. I'll leave a link in the description where you can go and join today. I'm going to leave the inside charred, or whatever you call that word, shushugi. And I've got a little bit of remnant of char on the exterior here. But I'm going to leave that because I kind of like how it fades into the darker interior. So let's go ahead and slap some finish on this bad boy. Every time. Right here, rock stars, you're looking at about 80 cents worth of material. It took me all of 8 minutes to build it with filming, and I'm going to put a price tag of 25, maybe 30 bucks on this piece. And that right there, my friends, is what I like to call a big ass profit. All right, for the next one, we're going to be cutting down this piece of 1.5 by 1.5 to 8 inches. Now we're going to take and make some marks on 2 sides of this piece. Let me demonstrate. So our marks will be at 2 1/4 from the bottom, 3 1/4, and 4 inches. And I'll use a marking wheel to get accurate marks on my piece on those sides. We'll mark the first mark, and we'll go ahead and just mark all the way around on all 4 sides. And we'll do that to all 3 of those numbers that we pulled. Then we'll set our marking wheel to 3/4 and mark the center on all of those marks we just made. Now take and punch those marks. So what I have here is 3 different sizes of Forster bits. I've got 1 3/8, 3/4, and 1 inch. And we're going to start with our 1 3/8 bit first. And we're going to work our way through the bits, cutting one side at a time. All right, and now we'll work our way back through the sizes on our opposite sides. Well, that turned out perfect. Holy moly, that is cool. All right, so I went ahead and cut it down to 6 inches because 8 inches was a little tall. Now we're going to drill a 1 inch hole right at the top, a 1/2 inch deep. Now we're going to carefully sand this and then slap some finish on it. Subscribe to my channel and smack that like button. Now I'm just going to take my round rasp and clean up the insides of those holes I drilled. Very gentle. That is marvelous. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get this other template started for my next one. And while this is cutting that, we're going to go ahead and get some stock milled down. Okay, I've got this cut off of the first one we did. And the length of it is 10.5 inches. And we're going to get it ripped directly in half. Now let's go grab our template. Again, I'll be leaving links to all the templates that I've used and the stencils for those of you who may not have a laser. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. And we're going to use the same method that we used on our first one that we built today. We're going to pull up from our bottom 3 inches, and that will be the start of our stencil. And we'll line up both of our tips right where we cut this piece, right at that center mark. Go ahead and trace this out. All right, now let's head to the bandsaw and get these cut out. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and cut the height right above the top of my star on both of these pieces. And we're going to go ahead and hit it with some sandpaper. The Sugar Boogie way of finishing pieces has really grown on me. So for this piece, we're going to burn the exterior. I'm going to go ahead and let that cool down, and I'll meet you back here to finish it up. We'll hit it with a couple of coats of shellac and get our candle holes drilled out. Now, in order to make these really shine, you want to get yourself a 300 grit sanding block. And after that first coat of shellac dries, you just want to lightly hit it with this sanding block one time, wipe the dust off, and hit it one last time with a coat of lacquer or shellac. Just a little pro tip for your next piece. So I did some math, and with the piece of material I was speaking of earlier in the video from Lowe's, it comes 2 foot wide by 4 foot in length, and they also sell a 6-footer. But for the 4 foot by 2 foot piece, that cost me $100 locally. Now, for these two projects, you can get 28 pieces out of that one board of each piece. So whether you do 14 of the stars and 14 of the trees, selling those at around 25 to 30 bucks, you're looking at around $800 out of that one board. Now with your leftovers out of that piece after building these, you can get 24 of these snowman built. And I would price this snowman right at about 10, maybe 15 bucks. That brings your potential profit out of that one piece of wood to over $1,000. And with the holidays right around the corner, these candle holders are a sure seller. Now, if you wanted to glue these two together, or even glue these two together, by all means, add a dab of glue. I'm gonna leave them unglued just because I like to be able to twist them and turn them. That way, I can get the setup that I like. As far as this snowman, I think it'd be pretty cool. Maybe make it a bit wider and thicker, and then drill a hole down at the bottom to hold the candle. And maybe it would catch fire. Hell, I don't know. Maybe it's possible, maybe it's not. What do you think? Comment below. I really hope this video has inspired you to get in your shop and make some sawdust. You don't have to have a fancy laser to get these projects built. And don't forget, the links to the stencils and the laser files, if you do have a laser, will be in the description. Until next time, get in your shop and make some sawdust. Scott.